At the same time in another room, Spike starts convulsing and suddenly explodes as an alien comes out of his body to then run and hide somewhere in the building. Afterward, Ripley washes up and shaves her head because it's prison policy. Then she goes to the mess hall and tries to thank Dylan for his eulogy, but Dylan warns her not to befriend him because he's done horrible things to women in the past. Ripley sits down and has lunch with him anyway. Later, Ripley asks Clemens how he ended up being a prison doctor and if he committed a crime because he also has a barcode on his skin like the inmates. Clemens dodges the question and in return asks about the real reason for the autopsy. To distract him, Ripley flirts with him and they end up doing the dirty. In the meantime, Murphy is working in an isolated tunnel when he finds a shed skin. Suddenly he hears a noise and thinks it's Spike, but when he takes a closer look he's shocked to see the alien. The creature attacks by throwing acid at his face, causing Murphy to stumble back and fall into a gigantic fan that immediately destroys him. Soon Clemens is called to investigate Murphy's remains. Andrews thinks Murphy was distracted and came too close to the sucking fan, but Clemens concludes that the fan was blowing in Murphy's direction. He also finds a burn mark like the one Ripley saw on the hypersleep pod. Wanting answers, Clemens goes looking for Ripley and finds her searching the ship wreckage for the flight recorder. When he tells her about Murphy, Ripley begins to suspect there's an alien around and Clemens demands to hear the whole story, but before sharing that information Ripley wants to recover the remains of the android. Clemens tells her to go to the garbage dump, but he can't escort her because he has a meeting with Andrews. When Clemens meets with Andrews, he immediately gets scolded for letting Ripley wander alone. He also shares that they've received high-level communication from the company regarding Ripley, who apparently is extremely important for the higher-ups, but Andrews doesn't know why. An argument ensues on how to proceed and Andrews tells Clemens to behave or he'll tell Ripley about his dark past. Meanwhile, Boggs, Rains, and Golik are on a survey assignment that has them placing candles to measure various tunnels and rooms in the building. However, some candles in the distance keep getting blown out. Assuming it's the wind, Rains goes to relight them only to find the now fully grown alien, which grabs Rains and begins biting him. Boggs and Golik hear screaming and run to check on their friend, but as